Welcome to a video from DebussyOnWheels.com. I have a new sound collection available for the Korg Wavestate. This is the Wavestation collection. The idea behind this is a set of performances and programs, and in fact if I show you all you'll see there's quite a lot in here. We've got over 100 programs and performances that are all based on classic Wavestation patches. So the Korg Wavestation with the 1990 synth, kind of based off the technology of the Prophet VS vector synth, so it had vector synthesis in it, but more importantly it had wave sequencing in it, which the Wavestate has wave sequencing 2.0 and is kind of inspired by that Korg Wavestation. And in fact I have a video with one of the R&D team from the Wavestate team on our YouTube channel, Dan Phillips, so make sure you check out that because you can hear about how the Wavestate became a product and was developed. So these patches are all based on the factory Wavestation patches. The Wavestate includes a lot of the wave sequences from the original factory patches of the Wavestate. So you can bring those into the Wavestate, and the samples are in there as well. So what I did is I fired up the virtual version of the Wavestation, the VST from the Korg collection, went through some of the motion and the pad patches performances and recreated those here on the Wavestate. So these are atmospheric ones, I call it the atmospheric collection, but they're really motions sequence ones and some pads as well, and a couple of others thrown in. So the architecture is not exactly the same. So to take this one for example, the Wavestate has 4 layers that you can use. The Wavestation actually has 8, and in those 8 you can have 4 patches and 4 sequences. So you're a bit more, although the engine is much more complex, you can't do a like for like, that's what I'm trying to say. So I've done it by ear and built these up as well, but many of these are using the proper timing lane sequences from the Wavestation. For example, this one uses the unison one on the Wavestation, and the unison one is here in the Wavestate as well. So you can build these yourself, you can find these on there. So like I said, we've got all these 108 programs and performances. I'm going to show you now these 38 performances which use those programs to put them all together. All of these have, or most of these have got joystick set up as well to control the 4 layers. I've just done a bit of X, Y volume control on those layers. Some of them have got polyphonic aftertouch set up on them as well. I've been controlling these from a key stage so that I can do that. But now I'm using the native version, the Wavestate Native, because it's easier to catch this. I'm actually, the keyboard is the ModWave keyboard I'm using to control it. So the first one is called AnalogLovTehang, and that's the name of the factory patches. All these are the name of the factory patches. And this one actually doesn't use any wave sequences. It uses 4 single sample layers. And you can use the joystick to control those levels on it as well. So a nice simple analog brass sound. So here's one called Bowed Strings, and this one also is a multi-sample. And what I've done with the joystick on this one, you can choose which elements you want. So if you go down to the bottom here, you can hear that bowed sample, and if you go down low, it actually sounds almost fair like which incidentally I've got a Fairlight collection for the Wavestate as well, so check that out. Now this one does have multi-samples and wave sequence in it. So here you can hear the wave sequence, that's using the Follow Me wave sequence, and then we've got an electric piano and 2 air voxes as well. Again based on the factory, and the joystick, I think this one controls the levels of the Vox and the wave sequence. So there you go, if you have it at the top there. Top there you've got just the without the wave sequencing, then you can really wave sequencing, or you can just go wave sequence. So this is Cimema God Pad. Here you can hear the 2 wave sequences going on and the pulse width modulation. And what I was saying earlier about programs, these layers, I've saved them all as separate programs as well, so you can build your own performances with my layers if you want. So if you want to use that just that WS wave 3, you can hear that. So you can incorporate those and you can bring them in. Like I said, they all support the vector as well. So that's Cimema Pad. Crystal theme. And again, I like that those wave sequences on there. It uses the Harmonic wave sequence. DebussyOnWheels. Not my names of patches, because these are the copies of the originals. But this is a nice patch. Here you can hear the unison wave sequencing kicking in. And again, you can mute parts of this by using the joystick. But interesting on this one, if I drop out the wave sequence and you just hear the pad sound. This used just a bit of this uses a bit of clever transposing. So just one of these layers is transposing up 5 semitones, so just to give you that sort of rich feel to it, which I thought was quite nice. Which is one of the reasons why I did this one. So I really like this one. End of Voltaire. Actually, we should be asking. I should ask Dan Phillips from Korg the reason behind some of all the thoughts behind some of these names. Some of these sound very early 90s, which I quite like actually. Especially with those vocals, that choir sound. I noticed a lot of the patches use this spectrum sound as well, which is this sort of sound. Which adds quite a lot of atmosphere to those patches as well. So quite a good technique that, and this is one way you can learn programming of these synths, is to delve into the factory sounds. So I did like that one. Next one is called Entropy. So this is Entropy. again, I think it's using some of that sort of spectrum kind of noise in the background. You can hear the wave sequencing kicking in on that. There you can see the spectrum samples that are used in those wave sequences. So here's a good one that uses a bit of wave sequencing. So this is called Fire Dance. A good example of wave sequencing on there. This one's called Glider. This is a nice one called Glitter Vox. Again, you can hear the wave sequence on that using the unison layer, which is one of the ones we saw earlier on. Nice resonance sweeping on there. Using the resonant multi-samples, not resonance of the filter. This one, Harmonic Motion, the speeding up and slowing down of the motion on there. I did take a bit of liberty on this one. I added the panning on there. So one of the things that the Wavestate has is a oscillator for doing pan. So I use that as well. I also played about with the LFO speed that you hear the main sequence as well. This one's called Heaven's Gate. You hear the choirs and the wave sequence in there as well. A nice warm pad sound with a bit of background movement you can hear from that arpeggio. So I like that because it's not too aggressive on the wave sequence, but it's just there in the background. This one is called Magic Waters. So a nice glassy effect. I did play about with the filters to get this one to match up as well, so I used the MS-20 high pass filter on the quarks layer just to get that ethereal sound. This one, Midnight Run, quite a famous one, and I think because it immediately identified the wave sequence in there. So that's only one of the sequences, one of the layers. The other layers have got that Vox sort of spectrum type sound. There you can see the wave sequence. Now the next one is not really atmospheric type patch. This is called MiniLead. It's just one of my favourite patches from the Wavestate Wavestation, so I've included it. This is a lead sound. It was actually used a number of artists in the early 90s, but mainly Genesis, We Can't Dance. It was used on the Fading Lights track as a monophonic lead sound on the end part. And you get this kind of subtle use of the wave sequencing, but it allows for that movement of those two layers. Actually, I've used 4. It's just those 4 layers. That's got probably have to touch on that one as well. Now this next one was called Mr. Terminator. On the Wavestation there was 8 layers, the left and right hand. The right hand was fairly generic sort of vocal pad type sound, so I've just recreated the left hand to show the wave sequencing out. To get those early 90s vibes out of that one. This one is called New Sparkle. This one, Pharoah's Jig, it's quite a good one for a subtle wave sequence on just on the end of the notes. So you can hear that kicking in like that. So this one, Pinger, this one has some Vox sound and marimba and a wave sequence, a vector wave sequence. Kind of reminds me of sort of 90s Tangerine Dream. Probably use this one. So Pressure Glass uses some interesting samples. It's the VS samples. It's a very subtle patch, and you can see the timings running on there as well. It's got 2 layers as well, with probably just, I think I just put a bit of tuning just to, yeah, I just tuned this layer slightly out, just give it a bit of a spread. So another quite subtle one, but nice. ResoStrings, that is a resonant string sound. Polyphonic Aftertouch adds some actual resonance to it. This has got no resonance in the patch at all. This is picking all that up from the samples, but the Poly Aftertouch does do that. It's actually quite a long sequence on this one. And that's the great thing about the Wavestate, is I didn't have to create that timing lanes and all that. That wave sequence slows res from RAM 3 is built in to the Wavestate from the Wavestation. Resonant pad. Respad. It's not. I suppose the resonance comes in at the end. It's a very glassy pad for my. To me, it sounds a very glassy pad, which I like. This is Softwaves. Again, nice pad sound, nice and evolving, and you can use the vector to change those layers, as you can do on all of them. Station platform. The timing lanes on that one. So this is Struck Bell. So we're not using multi-samples there, we've just got sort of layers of bells, and we could arpeggiate that to give us an interesting effect. Syn Vox is a nice vocal type sound. It's a bit of pitch envelope, just get that effect. And we've got SynBell. And that has that sort of digital sound, late 80s, early 90s digital sound I like. Now the next one is called Tangerine D. You'll probably guess why. You know I'm a fan of Tangerine Dream. I've got some Tangerine, in fact I've got a Tangerine Dream set that's just been released for the mod wave, but this is the factory preset from the Wavestation. Now there you can hear the Tangerine Dream style octave bass. I actually created this one myself, and then I found later that there was one built in as well, but I manually created these timing lanes. So I do like that sort of Tangerine Dream sound. Which is a nice belly type pad with analog sequence in there as well. I did play about with the padding LFO on this one as well. So if you listen to this stereo, you can hear how I've added that padding. So that's using the wave sequencing. Of course, I use the LFO for the padding, but I could have used the step sequencer, something that you couldn't have done on the Wavestation. I don't think you could do panning in the wave sequencing like you can on here. Vector guitar. And this is one that's controlled by the vector. So you can take the guitar out, or you can have the guitar in. It's up to you. You can choose from that. And we're using the vector layers here. 4 layers we're using for the vector synthesis type sound, but no wave sequencing in. And we've got Vox Arpeggios. So Vox Arpeggios there. It's fairly subtle on the arpeggio. You can hear it on there. So you can take it in and out with the joystick. Interesting layered sound. And we've got a bell pad, vector bell pad. So all using vectors, all using just singles, multi-samples, but all from the Wavestation sounds. And again, you control that through the joystick. And now we've got a VS wave. I think the VS part of this alludes to the vector synthesis because of the Prophet VS, which the if you watch my Wavestation video on the YouTube channel, you find out how the evolution of the Wavestation came from the Prophet division, or the Prophet company. This one you really hear the wave sequencing. And like I said earlier, all these layers are all available as separate layers that you can incorporate. Warm strings I did because this was used by Tony Banks, Genesis on We Can't Dance, and particularly Fading Lights. Lovely warm string, and that's one thing that really impressed me back in the 90s. I loved that warm string sound. And then the final one is called Will I Dream, which is using wave sequencing. And that has that proper early 90s sound, and it's the Vox sample. So that is the Wavestation's Atmospheres sound pack for the Korg Wavestate. I've been demoing this on the native version. Over here I've got the rack, or the module version. I've got a YouTube unboxing video on that, check that out as well. Really enjoying programming the Wavestate. I've still got a lot to learn, especially around the timing lanes, so I'll be working on some other other sound packs for it too. But if you have got a Wavestate, check out the 2 Fairlight sets that I've got available and the Akai set as well. So introduce some new sounds via the samples. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've really enjoyed working on these sounds, so please let me know in the comments if there's any particular sounds or synths or anything else you'd like me to feature, and I'll see you on the next video.